What if you mess up during your presentation? In boxing, there is an outstanding amount of force behind a full punch. Now, that punch can be absorbed into the recipient's face or head or body or wherever, or he or she can physically roll with that punch. What that does is it causes a glancing effect. That punch is impacted a little bit, but most of the force is thrown off into the air behind him or her. Now, what that does is reduces the damage that that punch causes. Now, you make a mistake in your presentation. That punch is the mistake. Those punches happen. No matter how well you prepare, there are always mistakes that are going to happen. Unfortunately, we are human. That's okay. But it's how you respond to that punch, to that mistake, that will determine the outcome of your entire presentation. Here's how to handle those punches and roll with them as they come. Not if they come, but when they come. Scenario number one, you absorb the full force of that punch. It hits you hard. It throws you off. Your momentum is shot. Your confidence is eroding away. You start to spiral. Oftentimes, those little mistakes will lead to other mistakes and more and more. And finally, by the time you sit down, you're slumping your shoulders. You're knowing that, oh, I prepared so well. I knew my content inside and out, but the delivery just fell away from you because of that one punch and you taking the full force of it. Your audience might feel a little bit of pity. You might get some conciliatory praises afterwards. Hey, nice job, but you're just dying inside because you know you left so much value on the table. Path number two, that punch comes, you roll with it, hurts a little bit of damage, but you pick yourself up and keep going. Your audience probably doesn't even remember it at the end of the day. You might remember a little bit and learn from those mistakes, but you just keep rolling, delivering your material, delivering your content, and you do a fantastic job with that presentation. Now, I know that those were two extremes. Most often we fall somewhere in between scenario one and scenario two. The closer you can get to scenario two, the better. And here are some ways to do that. First of all, don't demean yourself in any way or call out attention to the mistake. Don't giggle about it or chuckle. Don't blame outside forces. If something threw you off that was some random, a bird flew through the window, I've seen that happen before, the audio cuts out, someone comes charging into the room late, things like that, don't call attention to it. Don't say things like, man, that really threw me off. Let's see, where was I? Let's get back into it. That kind of stuff. Just respond with an appropriate degree based on the level of mistake. For those tiny mistakes, just completely ignore it. Pretend it never happened. You might remember it as a little bump in the road. Your audience most likely will not remember it at all. Just keep going. If it's a medium-sized mistake, you might say something like, excuse me, and then just keep going. Just keep rolling. If it's a bigger mistake and you may have said something completely inaccurate or that didn't jive with your content at all, you may say something like, excuse me, what I meant to say was, boom, keep going, just roll. So don't focus on it. Don't give it any more attention than it needs. Just dismiss as much as you can and then just keep going. Handling mistakes in presentations well can actually build up a lot of credibility with your audience. You'll be seen as more adaptable. You can take adversity on the fly, which is exactly what you're doing. I have seen people in the past fake mistakes to gain some credibility points or some pity points, or use it as an opportunity to inject a joke or some comedic timing. Do not go anywhere near there. It will have the opposite effect and kill and undermine that credibility or that ethos with your audience. To extend the boxing metaphor further, it's a punch in the gut when all eyes are on you and cameras and you make a mistake during a presentation. It's hard. It requires grit and determination and gumption to pick yourself back up, re-earn that momentum, regain that confidence, and then just keep going. Remember, everyone in the audience is human, and I'm guessing every single one of them has made a mistake or many, some big, some small, in the past. So don't forget that. I'd love a like if you found value in this and a subscribe if you want more content down the road. You've got this. Don't let that punch knock you out.